Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. It's the college football betting show. My guest today, like always, Dave Cokin, the legend himself, and Teddy Covers. I called him the most annoying man ever yesterday on Morning Joe and the Pro, and somebody commented that I was being rude to Teddy, so let's take that back. Teddy, my favorite pal in the world, Covers, joining us today. We're going to take apart 15 college football games. We're going to delve into 5 of them deeply. We're going to look at the Ohio State-Indiana game, the Alabama-South Carolina game, Iowa versus Iowa State, Arizona State versus Michigan State, and we're going to end with the Florida-Kentucky game. Then we will take a look briefly at 10 other games. I want to welcome in my guests, Dave Cokin and Teddy Covers. And Teddy, we did a show yesterday, so I already know how you are. Miserable as usual. Dave Cokin, how are you, my friend?
Good weekend in football, and hopefully we'll do that again this week. And I'm a handicapper this week.
Way to go, Dave. $2 Tuesdays at Wager Talk and Sports Memo. And obviously you can go to Wager Talk and get Dave Cokin's play for tonight for $2 only. Teddy, you won your...
It's not for tonight. It's a college football game.
Oh, well, there you go. You get one of Dave's college football plays for $2. Teddy, you won your 5% big ticket play on Houston last night. Congratulations. What an ending between Houston and New Orleans. The last 2 minutes was just magical football. You've started the NFL season absolutely incredible. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we like football. We've done well in football, NFL and college. Last year was a great NFL season. This year, as you mentioned, 3-1 start. We won both 5 stars this weekend. Oregon on Saturday was pretty easy, 77-6. I like it when they win by 10 touchdowns. Houston last night, again, wire to wire. A little bit of a sweat at the end with that pass again, but the Texans were the right side in that game.
Well, I started the NFL season 2-4. Not happy, but it's fine. I mean, Jesus, it's a long season, and we're going to have those type of moments. In college football, I'm pretty much break even. I had a bad Saturday, but I did win my 5-unit play. I've won both my 5-unit plays in college football. I can't complain, man. I obviously want to win every single game, but I know that's not going to happen. Guys, let's get straight to the first game, and then after that, we'll take a quick commercial break. Ohio State versus Indiana. The line originally, the opening line, and I use bookmakers' opening line, was minus 13.5. It has been moved to minus 15.5 with a total of 61. Teddy, Ohio State has won 23 straight in this series, but the Hoosiers are playing them close from an ATS perspective. They've covered 7 of 8. Dave, I'll go to you first. The line is the lowest in this series in 15 years. Ohio State looked great last week. What are you doing in this game?
I priced it at 12.5. A little on the Indiana side. I like teams that stuff the run. And Indiana's got a really good rushing defense because they haven't exactly played 2 powerhouses so far. But I do like the way the scheme seems to be working defensively. And if you can force Ohio State to throw it more than they want to, that's probably a good thing. Tremendous success on the ground so far, 254 yards per game, and a lot of runs. I think Indiana's good enough to hang here. And would look at the Hoosier side.
Teddy, the Hoosiers put up 500-plus yards in both their first 2 games, but those were against Ball State and Eastern Illinois, and they haven't been sacked yet. I'm pretty positive the sacks are coming this week. I can't see the Hoosiers put up that type of yardage against Ohio State. What do you like in this game?
Dave and I keep our own separate power ratings, and sometimes they're really different. My number on Ohio State for this game was north of 17. So I was not surprised at all to see the early money come on the Buckeyes. And, of course, Indiana hasn't taken a sack yet. They played Ball State and Eastern. It's a pretty big step up in class between the two. And what I want 49. Played the year before, the Buckeyes has not been able to stop this defense. 42, 42, 52. The best performance they've had this decade. They held Ohio State to 30. And this Ohio State offense, had the right circumstances. They did against Cincy last week. That impressed me, and I think they're more than capable of doing that in the highway. Worth noting, at the end of the year last year, not a good road team. Remember the bad loss at Purdue? They barely escaped against Maryland. Is 13.5-point chalk. This hasn't been their role, but last year was last year. This year's Ohio State team, to me, looks like this scary team that I do not want to stand in front of. Four in the country right now. Is that close to where you have them, Dave? Or do you have them, I've got only Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama better than Ohio State.
You know what? I don't have the order in front of me. I just keep them alphabetically because I don't care about rankings. So I don't. If you want the most useless information out there, just check the AP poll every week.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I don't even know. I've got them way up there. I know that, but I don't know whether they're not 1, 2, or 3. I know that, but they're very high. But I like this Indiana team, so we'll see what happens.
I lean on Ohio State and the over in this game, guys. I think we saw Ohio State shut Cincinnati out, but FAU were able to put 21 up on them. And although Indiana is playing...
interrupt you there because the 21 FAU put up was garbage time.
All garbage.
Yeah, okay? If I had the over in that game, I don't think the books care whether it was garbage or not.
No, but the point I'm making is you said, FAU, it's when they put the 21 up that matters. That's a really important aspect of the handicap in college football. Points either way. It's huge. I don't factor those into my numbers at all. I basically handicap that game as or register that game as was like a 28-0. The points were all meaningless. So
and all of those points and yards end up in a database, which pumps out the numbers for and when you can accurately adjust your database and say these numbers are wrong.
Right.
You can make money in college football. That's the way to make money in college football. And all the points and yards that FAU gained against Ohio State were fraudulent. The first string against the first string was an absolute domination.
Right. And the flip side of it is, Cincinnati might not be all they were cracked up to be. Everybody had, Cincinnati, watch out. They could be in January 1st actually this year. I don't know about that because they were very inefficient against UCLA, a game they should have won going away and didn't because the offense was dysfunctional. And then they got nothing last week, which was partly Ohio State. It was also partly Cincinnati. Their offense is not playing well right now. So, you got to look beyond just the scores and see how these teams are actually
Guys,
playing.
Bottom line for me, as I said, I like Ohio State. I like the over. Can you bottom line this, please, Dave?
But I'm not playing the game.
Teddy.
I lean Indiana.
Game, I lean Ohio State.
He's Teddy.
I wouldn't talk out of
He's Teddy Covers, Dave Cokin with us. You're watching the College Football Betting Show. We tape it every single week. We really appreciate all the comments you guys put up on our YouTube channel at Wager Talk TV. I was up till 4:30 a.m. last night. Played a hockey game and my championship, the facility championships at my arena. 1-1 tie with 2 minutes to go, and we lost. So I was pretty much upset and ended up watching the hip-hop evolution from like midnight to 4 in the morning. Highly recommend that, by the way, and I don't even like hip-hop.
I got to tune into that.
Yeah, you're right on that, Dave. Guys, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're right back with the next 4 games. Hey, everybody, really quick. I got a great promotion for you all for Teddy Covers. Man has just, last year in college football, roughly 60, last year in NFL, roughly 62%. He's one of the best NFL handicappers alive. He's a guy I actually speak to every single week before I put my plays up. Teddy and I are a team at the Westgate competition. We went 4-1. The man is completely in the zone. And his regular season price for his NFL is $795. It's $595 for you guys. Use the promo code TCNFL. That's TC for Teddy Covers. NFL, $595 for all of his NFL season and playoffs. Boys, Alabama versus South Carolina. And Alabama finds themselves at minus 25 with an over and under of 60. Name the only team that is 3-2 straight up versus Alabama in their last 5 games. Yeah, I know. It's South Carolina, but it hasn't happened since 2010, so who cares? Dave, what do you like in this game?
The number's too high. Now that's a scary thing to say when it's Alabama. But, you do pay a premium for Alabama on a weekly basis. Even last week, I mean, you paid a premium in the New Mexico State game, and they didn't their line. This line is more workable. But But I got to tell you something. I've never been a Jake Bentley guy. I don't think he's improved his first year at South Carolina, and I don't really downgrade them very much with you. So Alabama goes up against a team that's going to be sky high for this football game. It'll be their biggest game of the season. They'd love to pull the shocker. I don't think they can do that. And I think they're easily, but the number looks to me to be too high, and this is just where you pay a price if you want to bet Alabama. Number I made in the game, about 20. So you're definitely getting value. A lot of balls to play against Alabama, but I'm strongly considering doing it. I think South Carolina is going to give him a game. Muschamp, he's not real good as far as my head coaching ratings, if you want to call them that, are concerned. I think this could be his last year at South Carolina, but the team rarely gets crushed. And at home, I think they're going to hang in and give Alabama a game here.
He's Dave Cokin. Teddy, I like South Carolina as well in this game. I'm not going to get to the window with them because, as Dave said, I just don't have the balls to play against Alabama. But my lean is towards South Carolina. Alabama, 12-3 against the spread in their last 15 against the SEC on the road, but only 3-2 in that same spot, 20 points or more. So what we're seeing is exactly what Dave said. These SEC teams, they're playing their heart out against Alabama. These are their championship games. I think we're going to get a real strong effort from South Carolina, and I think it's going to be very close. Teddy?
Very close?
No, close to the point spread.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be close to the point spread. It's not a game that we should even be wasting our time with because that's a game that you're going to pass. Anytime you're like, all right, well, it's going to be close to the point spread's right. Done. My number on this game came 25.5. The opening number was 25.5. So it's not anything where I'm seeing a ton of value. And all those wins, South Carolina over Alabama. Let's see, there was one from 2001. There was one from 2004.
Yeah.
Those games
they
don't
count.
Yeah. I mean, Saban lost his only trip here. And that's something that there was a quote that, I remember the last time I went to South Carolina, where Saban remembers what happened. They got beat by 2 touchdowns in that game. But when it comes to these top teams, the Alabamas, the Ohio States, I don't do that much with them, Lawrence. I don't. You're not going to find me making a consistent case. Hey, this is the best team in college football. How do I bet against them? Oh, that's not my strategy. At the same time, it's is there value here on? There's no value here on Alabama. They're laying 20. No. So it's an easy pass for me. It's not a game that I'm going to spend more than 5 minutes with through the course of the week. I know I don't want the favorite. I know I don't want the dog.
He's Teddy Covers. You can get his entire NFL season for $595. Use the promo code TCNFL. And guys, just a real quick heads up. This is the week I fix all my sound issues. Yesterday I called my service provider. I've jacked up my MUs or my gigabytes or whatever the hell it's called. If that doesn't work, I will have isolated my problem down to the processing speed of my computer. I will get in the car. I will drive to Best Buy. I will buy the biggest, largest damn computer. I will find Watson from IBM if I have to. But this is the week the sound gets fixed. Dave Cokin, big game for Iowa and Iowa State. These teams get up for this one, and both these teams are awesome from an ATS situational perspective. Iowa 16-1-1 ATS as an away favorite. Iowa State 9-2-2 ATS as a home dog. Iowa has won 4 straight in this series, going 3-0-1 ATS. We've seen a line shift all the way around. Iowa State is now -1 with a total of 44.5. I go to you first always.
What did you say the number was?
Iowa State -1. No, it's Iowa -2.
Iowa.
My apologies.
2 and going up.
2.5, yeah. 2.5 and 44.5.
And listen, that's not when I saw this number come out early on Sunday. It said they got the wrong team favored, and I knew where the line was going to go. It's not a game I could give out because nobody at Wager Talk was going to be able to get that price except for a handful of people who are able to bet soft openers. So it'll end up not being on the card now. No, the line is going exactly where it's supposed to go because Iowa's better than Iowa State right now. Excuse me. And the big reason for that is the tremendous improvement of Kyle Stanley. And I know Iowa hasn't played much so far, but I'm going to tell you, if you've watched Stanley in these first 2 games, this is not the same quarterback that was on the field last year for Iowa. He looks like a guy who might be able to play on Sundays. Very accurate. He has definitely taken a step forward. So where I had Stanley rated in terms of a positional power ranking, going into the season, I've had to change that. And he's moving up. At the same time, Iowa State, the Northern Iowa game, I'm not going to put a whole lot into that. Northern Iowa played out of its mind. What I did notice was the explosiveness in the backfield is not there. Montgomery of the Iowa year, his so far out of the new core of Iowa State running backs, but he was a different level running back and took more of the focus of this. Now,
Dave, one sec. Believe it or not, I actually have a situation with my kid. I got to go open the front door. You guys keep talking about this game. I can't stop the show. My bloody child.
Just go. All right. So, anyway, to continue with this, I kind of lost my train of thought.
Iowa State.
Iowa State, the opposing defensive coordinators are now going to be able to focus more on the threat of Montgomery is not there anymore. So I think Iowa has some edges in this game. It's not going to be a play for me because Iowa, as I said, the value has been sucked out of it now. The early value, I think, was clearly there, Teddy, on the Hawkeyes. It's not anymore, so I'll just get out of the game. I think Iowa wins it, but that's as far as I'll go with it.
Teddy, what are your thoughts?
But from a situational standpoint and from a point spread standpoint, I really think that the Iowa State side is worth noting right here, okay? Rutgers was a popular choice last week. Hey, Rutgers, I bet Rutgers last week. And you were right about Stanley. I mean, that game was over on the first drive. Stanley threw a beautiful pass, a 58-yard touchdown. Rutgers goes 3 and out. Iowa gets the ball. It's over. That game was over in the first quarter. So a popular wise guy choice, a team that took money last week, got the money, and I was like, oh, Iowa, look at Iowa. Iowa State's laying in the weeds. You know what I mean? They had that test for week 1 against Northern Iowa. They didn't look good. They were 22.5 point chalk, and a game went into overtime. And then they hadn't paid any attention to the Cyclones so far this season. There's been a fair bit of betting market attention for the Hawkeyes. So we're seeing this money towards the road favorite in Iowa. I could only look the other way there. Lean under as well. I mean, I know Stanley's been good. Nathan Stanley has been real good. Yeah, that's all right. We do it. So, hey, with the number of players that I have in my head, dude, listen, I get the last names wrong sometimes.
He doesn't know my.
Everybody knows your first name, Dave Cokin. I also lean on the under, Teddy. Guys, let's get to the next game. Arizona State versus Michigan State. Michigan State was minus 11, bookmakers opening line. They're now minus 13.5 and heading up. The total is 45. Dave, where are you going in this one?
I mean, Arizona State's been really unimpressive so far. Didn't do much offensively against Kent, and they didn't get a touchdown until late in the game last week against Sacramento State.
Yeah, they had under 80 yards in the first half against Sacramento State, and they were sacked 6 times.
They were terrible. And, you look at the Arizona State sideline, and there's Herm Edwards standing there with Marvin Lewis. Michigan I don't want them, okay? Michigan State, it's getting pricey. I don't disagree with it. I mean, I think you maybe 15 is the right number in this game. The only problem is Michigan State is a team that I almost never lay big points with because we know D'Antonio's his track record, and this is not. He doesn't care about the point spread. He just wants to win games, and if he gets a lead, he'll just sit there and play conservative football and get his win and move on to the next game. So it's probably not a game I'm going to play. And actually, nobody's going to want Arizona State off these first couple of games. We're seeing that with the line movement in this game. I think the line movement's correct, but it's just not a play I'm really interested in.
And it's really well put, Dave, because I lean on Michigan State here as well, but it's tough to bet them laying double digits. You go back over the last 5-6 years with that team, and I mean, it's a whole lot of W's, and it's a whole lot of extremely tight games. This is probably one of the most conservative teams in football. This is a stay-away game for me. Teddy, what do you think?
Oh, if I'm playing, I'm laying. I'll tell you that much.
Well, yeah, that's what I say to my girlfriend all the time. Baby, if we're going to play, we're going to lay.
Yeah, that's very, very, very bad humor. Thank you, Prez. No dad jokes on this show.
Oh, well, look at it. Oh, that's not.
Yeah. So,
sorry, got caught up staring at myself.
So Sparty showed, again, last week, Sparty showed us something. It was like, can't lay with Michigan State, And again, they're laying 14.5 against Western. But killed them. And in week 1, and let's give Tulsa some credit. It's better than people thought it was, and they got some playmakers. But Michigan State got slapped around. But last week, 31 first downs, 582 yards of offense, 251 yards on the ground, 3 at 10 yards per pass attempt through the air. Those aren't numbers that I'm afraid to lay points with. The work you can play. They got weapons on the outside. I look at Michigan State kind of like I look at Kansas State right now. It's a team that may well be an undervalued commodity. For me, it's Spartans or pass in this one. And they will certainly remember the way they lost last year's game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They were the better of the two teams, but they didn't put points on the board and didn't take advantage of their scoring opportunity. Ended up losing 16-13. And I think Sparty is, because of the reputation they have as not covering these numbers, and because of what happened week 1 against Tulsa, where they didn't the number, they might forward. Michigan State or pass for me.
Speaking about a team in revenge mode that lost last year and wants to right that ship, Kentucky won in the Swamp last year, snapping a 31-game losing streak. Now Florida is heading over there. Florida is -8 with the total of 50. Kentucky lost their starting QB.
It's not that big a deal.
Okay, Dave, talk to me.
It's just not that big a deal. The first string and the second string on Kentucky is, Wilson's he's all right. Backup's just as good. So I don't think that, and by the way, I didn't get back what the situation in Kentucky is. I'm just right. I made the line 8, and that's where it is. Florida's better. They are going to create some havoc in the Kentucky backfield. So there is a chance here, I think, and it's tough to call these, but I wouldn't be shocked if Florida scores a defensive touchdown in this game. Problems for Kentucky's offense. I'm not a totals guy, but I have a feeling this is a game where your points might not be that easy to come by. Kentucky's defense is pretty good. Florida's defense is very good. Frank Trust, he did play well last week, but, that was against junk. He did not play well in the Miami game, and I think he'll be confused at times by the Kentucky defense. If you can throw some camouflage reads at him, he has trouble breaking down defenses. That's why he's strictly a college quarterback. He won't play at the next level. I think Florida wins. I'd be really leery of laying the points.
Teddy, I'm with Dave. I think if anything for me, it's Kentucky or pass, and I am going to pass. What do you like in this game?
Yeah, Kentucky's been the undervalued commodity in early season play. They lost so much in the offseason that everyone's like, Kentucky's way down. Whatever they were, they can't possibly do that again. And lone back wins and covers. That being said, moving the football against Toledo's defense and Eastern Michigan's defense is not like moving the football against Florida's defense.
Yeah.
I'm with Dave in terms of the under may well be worth a look here. I do think points will be hard to come by. And I'm also with Dave. My number came pretty close to where the number is. I came 7.5 on this game. So I'm not far off the market, and that means I'm not desperately looking to make a play here. I got to say something about Franks, though, because this is one of these quarterbacks who, he certainly had his ups and downs, but he's shown, I can't forget what he did against Michigan in the bowl game last year, and those type of scenarios for Franks. And the markets are reluctant to love this guy.
Yep.
He's not there every game, and he hasn't been brilliant in every game, but he may offer some potential to bet on moving forward. Lean favorite, lean under.
He's Teddy Covers, Dave Cokin with us. You're watching the College Football Betting Show. You can find it at Wager Talk TV, our YouTube channel. Huge shout out to Marco D'Angelo, Gianni the Greek, otherwise known as VR, and Kelly Stewart. They put up their first NFL video last week, over 30,000 views. Absolutely outstanding. I listened to the show. It was so good. So guys, make sure to check that out. Also, Morning Joe is up today. It's Drew Martin and Ralph Michaels. Tomorrow, Dave Cokin will be with us, him and Dwayne Bryant. Morning Joe and the Pro, we talk one college football game, 2 baseball games for that night, and 2 NFL games. So check that out. And of course, the NFL presidential address with Kelly and myself will be up on Wednesday. Boys, let's take a quick break, and then we're back to go the opposite of in-depth with 10 more college football games. Hey, guys, real quick. Dave Cokin and Teddy Covers. 7 days of all of their plays. While I'm talking, I'm looking up the promo code because I absolutely suck. Oh, yes, it's WT 7 day. That's WT 7 day. You can have 7 days of Dave Cokin's baseball, college football, and NFL, and Teddy's baseball, college football, and NFL for $79. Use the promo code WT7day. Boys, let's race through the remaining 10 games, a minute each game. So if you can keep it to 30 seconds, that would be great. NC State playing West Virginia. The line has gone from 5.5 at Bookmaker on its opening line to -7. There are a few 6.5s on the board, and 47 is the total. The game is in West Virginia. Dave Cokin, go.
This is a classic sell high and buy low if you want to go that route. I mean, it does work. You end up winning to go that route. NC State's look great. West Virginia has been absolutely dismal. The number. I lean Mountaineers here.
Teddy?
Yeah, so conceptually, I love the concept of let's buy low. When you have a new coach with a new system and a new quarterback, I don't want to buy low until I know this team can actually play. And I haven't seen anything that shows me that West Virginia can actually play this year. The growing pains have been significant when you're getting outgained by James Madison at home in your opener and then blown off them. I mean, there was non-competitive against Mizzou last week. I do not trust West Virginia to do anything right now. I have to see a good game from them or a decent game before I bet them, which leads me with a road favorite or pass type of scenario.
I'm in exactly the same boat, Teddy. It's NC State or pass. Maryland -7.5. Again, a line move over the magic number of 7. They're playing in Temple. The total is 64. I like a lot of points to be scored in this game. I lean on over the total. Dave Cokin.
Yeah, and I think it probably will be high scoring because Temple's going up tempo this year. I will mention watching this on Tuesday, this is the $2 play. It'll also be part of the college football package over the weekend. By the way, football plays so far at Wager Talk on the season, 16-7, college and pro combined. So pretty happy with that. And I do have a play on the game. So go to wagertalk.com.
Yeah, and you can get it for $79, and it also includes 6 more days of plays. Use the promo code WT7DAY. Teddy, what do you like in this game?
Now this, to me, is the one that stands out of the buy low, sell high scenario we were just talking about from Dave. Because Maryland is, maybe they're way undervalued coming into the season. They probably were. They got a core. Too easy at home against Howard. Too easy at home against Syracuse. Temple's going to play them physical in the trenches, and we'll see if the Terps have that same ability to blow teams off the field against a team that can play a little bit of defense. And Temple, again, they played week 1, a non-line game, bye week last week. We haven't seen a lot of Temple. The hype is there for the Terps. It's not there for the Owls. From a value perspective, it would be Temple or pass for this better. And that's a priori. I believe in Maryland somewhat. I don't believe in Maryland in this point spread range on the road off the 2 back-to-back blowout wins.
Penn State, Dave, -17 with a total of 54 against Pittsburgh. I'm passing on this game. What do you like?
I made the number 17. And that's where it is. So Penn State should win the football game. I wouldn't be. Pitt can play some defense.
Teddy?
Yeah, we haven't. I haven't seen. I thought Pitt might be a little bit better than they have been. Even the win over Iowa last week with the money poured in on the Bobcats. Yes, Pitt got the win. Football week 1 either, and that worries me. Yeah, and we talk about some of the strongest home fields in college football. I adjust every year, and right now Penn State's home field is one that I have very little interest in stepping in front of. That is one of the strongest home fields.
Dave, Colorado hosting Air Force -3.5 with a total of 58.5. Where are you going in this one?
What's your last comment?
I was just going to say, I talked about Stanley improving considerably from last year for Iowa. The Pitt quarterback hasn't improved a bit.
Pickett, no.
And, yeah, he's just not very good. Okay, his next game, Air Force, Colorado. This is the situational spot of the week. I don't know if I'm going to get involved in it, but this is a really good spot for Air Force. Colorado, well, a rivalry game with Colorado State to start the season. They win that. A bit misleading on the score. big comeback last week to beat Nebraska in what I think is a much bigger game than this is. And Air Force can play a little bit. They've got more starters back than they usually have. I think Air Force has a really good chance to win this game. I don't know if it makes my card or not, because on the numbers, it's not such a good play. But if you're into situational stuff, Air Force should be a consideration.
Teddy, I'm passing on this one. What do you like?
And it's definitely worth noting for Colorado, they've got their Pac-12 opener next week at Arizona State. So from a spot standpoint, it really is the big brother, little brother in the state, and the little brother's coming to play, and the little brother's rested and ready, and the big brother's coming off the intense overtime affair and another big game on deck. All of that is factored into this point spread. My number from a pure power rating standpoint came a good notch or two higher than the number. So from a value standpoint, we like the concept of Air Force. I didn't get the number I was hoping for.
BYU hosting USC, Dave. It's the acronym game. USC -4, -4.5, -5. It's a little bit all over the map. The total is around 55.5. What do you like in this one?
I don't know. I just don't know. BYU is no good. Excuse me. They got really lucky last week because Tennessee is a bunch of idiots. Sorry, but they are. Tennessee just blew that football game. So I'm not really giving BYU much, any of an upgrade. USC obviously had a fantastic game against Stanford after a slow start, and they just blew them out in the second half. You know what? The talent level here clearly favors USC, but I don't trust the football team at all. And coming off a big win against Stanford, they're a poorly coached teams are the type of teams that have letdowns off big wins like that. I would worry about taking USC here.
I actually like USC here, Teddy. I think it's just a matter of this is a much better team player-wise, and I feel like it's a bit of a short number. Where are you going in this one?
I think it's a bit of a short number too, but I thought it was a little bit of a short number last week with Tennessee. And BYU found a way in that game better defensively than I gave them credit for, perhaps, in that contest. That was one that I got wrong, and it's been a good start to the football season for both Dave and myself. And when I get a team wrong, then you're, okay, let's take a step back. So it's not a game I'm going to play, but this is one thing that is absolutely true in my opinion, I do not trust Keaton Slovis to do it again. Do it on the road against a decent defense. He was their fourth string quarterback. He got no reps the whole way through, and now he's a starter, and he came in and caught fire against Stanford at home. Do it again on the road at BYU, and then I'll believe in you. Right now, I don't.
Guys, 15-second commercial break. We're right back with the remaining 5 games. Hey, everyone, real quick. Thank you to everybody for the support that you've shown for the Gold Sheet. We purchased this legendary, iconic company in August. It's been an amazing ride so far, a lot of hard work. Real quick, 50% off of all 3 publications for this week. That's 50% off all 3 publications for this week. Just head over to Sports Memo or Wager Talk and use the promo code G50. That's G50. Guys, Clemson versus Syracuse. Syracuse was a disaster last week. I had them as a loser. Oh, my God. Minus 27.5 with a couple of 28s on the board for Clemson. A total of 61. Dave, talk to me.
I'm not playing Syracuse, but I don't want Clemson in this spot. I mean, they're coming off. That was the toughest game of the year. The Texas A&M game was their biggest game on the schedule. From here on in, it's pretty much clear sailing for Clemson. So, they've already accomplished their objective in a sense, and they're in the playoffs. Barring something completely crazy, they're already in the playoffs. So at this point, Clemson becomes a team that I'm not going to say they're going to go through the motions, but you're going to have to pay a ton of points, and I'm not sure that they really care about blowing anybody out by 50. So the number here.
Teddy?
Yeah, Syracuse has shown me no bet on whatsoever.
Right.
And I cashed a ticket with them week 1, and I was lucky to cash it. And I have no interest in getting back to the window with the Orange anytime soon. I'm sorry you had them last week. You know, the problems on both sides of the football for Syracuse, and teams that have problems on both sides of the football aren't teams that I want to back against Clemson.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to get in the way of Clemson here either, but I'm not going to take them in this game. I'm not going to take anything in this game. It's an outright pass for the Prez, who is talking in third person. Dave, Virginia -7. There's some 7.5s on the board with a total of 57. They're hosting Florida State. I lean on the under in this game. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than 30-25 or whatever the number might be to hit 57. Dave, talk to me.
So we talked a little bit about and sell high because Florida State's, they are a mess. They are an absolute mess. Taggart looks like he's going to get fired, okay? It's Virginia or pass. I'm probably going to pass because the line the lines have caught up to Florida State. They're no longer being priced on the Florida State reputation because they're just not that good. Virginia should win this game, and Florida State, you know, it might get even worse for them because I think Taggart is approaching lame duck status, and you do not want to be on a lame duck coach.
Teddy covers. What do you like in this one?
Taggart was bet on everywhere, but something really stood out to me in camp over the summer for Florida State when the reports were that Hornibrook and Blackman were neck and neck for the job, and we see the starting quarterback job, and we seen Hornibrook start for 3 years in Wisconsin, and we know that he can't play. So Blackman won the job. I'm like, all right, well, they got the right quarterback. Well, the fact that it was neck and neck tells us all we need to know. You know, I'm with Dave conceptually. When you have a team that is supposed to be at this level and they're playing well below that level and the coach is on the hot seat, those aren't teams that I want to buy on the come. You know, I'm not convinced. When Florida State shows an effort here and hangs around and knocks off Virginia, maybe it's a different story. But until we see some buy sign from the Seminoles, they'll be fade material only for this better.
Dave, Oklahoma on the road playing UCLA, and bookmakers' opening line was 66.5. It's been bet up to 73.5, and same with the side, 19.5 on Oklahoma. We've got 23s on the board. You know, I initially jumped all over the over, but now I think all the value is gone. With that said, I can't play under in an Oklahoma game. Unbelievable offense, crappy defense. And I can't lay 23 on the road. This is a straight pass for me.
UCLA stinks, okay? I obviously misjudged them in week 1 against Cincinnati. 7 or 10 point loss, whatever it was, but they actually got killed in that game. And they even made the San Diego State offense look good last week. They're just going to get run out here by Oklahoma. Sooners by whatever they want. You're going to have to lay a huge price if you want Oklahoma, but I don't want UCLA. Let's put it that way.
Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, so the concept here, we're talking about teams like Florida State and UCLA, the teams that are in market free fall, all right? Nobody wants them. The point spreads get larger and larger in those games, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the concept, all right? When you have a team that isn't priced correctly in the markets, they're priced too high, and they're crashing and burning in front of our eyes, I'm not backing that team until I'm convinced the markets have caught up with how bad they are. So both these games, the UCLA game, the Florida State game, they're one-way games for me. I can only bet against the bottom feeders in early season play because I'm not, if Florida State was power rated here and now we've dropped them a touchdown, are they power rated correctly now? Markets haven't been right on them at all. Same thing with UCLA, where they were power rated in the wrong place coming into the season. The free fall team, if I'm not betting against them, I'm not getting involved. I need to see them play one good game and cover a point spread, put myself to the betting window and put my actual money on a squad that's just falling apart like the UCLA Bruins.
Dave, Nebraska minus 14 with some 14.5s on the board, hosting Northern Illinois. 54.5 is the total. What do you like in this one?
I'm not playing Nebraska because, look, they weren't good against South Alabama, which is a terrible team. And against Colorado, I know it was on the road, and I think Colorado's better than people think they are, but that's still a bad loss. Team's going the wrong way right now, and you might look at this and say, well, here's their chance to take out some frustration. But Northern Illinois plays some pretty good defense, and we know what their track record has been as a dog. I know they've got a different coach now, but Northern Illinois has been the same team for, I don't know, like 15 years, where they just hang in there against better competition. I wouldn't be surprised if NIU gives them a game.
Teddy?
Yeah, I'm with Mr. Cokin on this 100%. From a spot standpoint, we don't like Nebraska this week. From a live dog over and over and over again on the road standpoint, look what Northern Illinois did last week. I mean, it's just what they do. They went to Utah. They didn't play great, but they hung around. And this is you're probably going to cover the number type of ball game. So, yes, underdog or pass is the only way I'm looking at this one.
Yeah, I'm with both of you on that. And I think if you're going to bet the underdog, bet it now. Arizona hosting Texas Tech, minus 2.5 to the road team Double T. The total has been bet up from 73 to 76.5. And Dave, I think there's still maybe a little bit of value on the over. I think this is going to be a very high scoring game. It's the only way I can bet this one, although it's unlikely I'll make it to the window. Dave, what do you think?
Not much. I mean, Texas, I don't really know what Texas Tech has right now. They're playing the same offense. They're extremely fast-paced, but they haven't played anybody. So, I mean, I had them against UTEP and managed to squeeze out the win. I don't even know if winning by 35 against UTEP is good or not. They probably should have won by more than that. And Arizona just looks like they're a mess. Don't trust Kevin Sumlin. I think he's a lousy coach. And I don't know what to make of this game. I'm going to watch it. This is one of those games where I should be entertained, but I won't be in action on it.
Teddy?
In my mind, this comes down to a single handicap. Do we trust Texas Tech to get stops on Khalil Tate? I think the Red Raiders are going to score. I think the Red Raiders are going to score from start to finish. I do not like the looks of this Arizona team. I haven't liked the way they played. There are holes, many holes. And I expect Texas Tech to get theirs. But can't lay points in the road with a team that can't get stops, especially against a mobile quarterback who can make some plays. And, Tate on the season, 8.9 yards per pass attempt, which is pretty darn good. 7.3 yards per rush as well. He hasn't rushed as much, but quarterbacks like Tate have given Texas Tech's defense fits in years past. And that definitely concerns me here. No argument if you want to take a look at the over in this one.
I will say one thing real quick on Texas Tech. I really like the hire they made as head coach. And I think Texas Tech might end up being the best they've been in a few years with their new coach. He's a good one.
He's Dave Cokin. That's Teddy Covers. You can find all three of us at wagertalk.com. Make sure to check us out, guys. Both Dave and Teddy have had an outstanding start to both the college football and NFL season. Dave just rolling, I think 17-6, give or take.
No, 16 and
7 in all of his football plays, including preseason. Boys, I really appreciate all of you guys being with us. I'm going to take us home. We'll see you both on Tuesday. And Dave, we'll see you tomorrow for Morning Joe and the Pro.
I'll be here.
That's the show. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Make sure to follow me at Prez Wager Talk. Make sure to take advantage of our promotions. 50% off of the Gold Sheet. All three of their publications. Use the promo code G50. Also, Teddy covers NFL season at $595. Use the promo code TCNFL. And Dave Cokin and Teddy covers 7 days of all their plays, baseball and both footballs, for $79. Use the promo code WT7day. WT 7 Day. This show is taped every Tuesday. It's up at Wager Talk TV every Tuesday, our YouTube channel. It's also on all of the podcast outlets. Make sure to keep watching Morning Joe and the Pro. That show goes Monday to Friday. We talk one college football game, 2 baseball games for that night, and 2 NFL games for the upcoming week. Dave Cokin and Dwayne Bryant will be with us on Wednesday's show. And, of course, the NFL presidential address with myself and Kelly Stewart. That show is up every Wednesday at Wager Talk TV on our YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Please comment. Please post. I read them all. I respond to almost all of you. Instead of flexing, which is what I do to end a show, I'm going to give you a namaste.